Our next story is about the decline and coming fall of Elon Musk. The world's richest man is in a way turning poor. He is not only losing friends, he is losing money as well. As US President Donald Trump's government efficiency czar, Musk seems to be making more enemies as time passes by, and as a result, Trump loyalists are turning sour on Musk. Canadians are petitioning to revoke Musk's citizenship. Tesla sales have halved in Europe. And now it turns out he is not even the head of the Department of Government Efficiency as such. That newly formed department that is known to be the brainchild of Elon Musk. So clearly a lot is going on here. Is this the beginning of the end for Elon Musk is the immediate question. Just have a look at what's really happening. On Tuesday, a group of 21 civil servants with technology expertise resigned rather than help implement an array of changes to the federal government being pushed by Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency. They said that they do not want to use their technical expertise to dismantle critical public services. Their joint resignation letter said, and I'm quoting here, "We swore to serve the American people and uphold our oath to the Constitution across presidential administrations. However, it has become clear that we can no longer honor those commitments," quote unquote. And the employees also warned that many of those enlisted by Musk to help him slash the size of the federal government do not have the necessary skills or experience for the task ahead of them. The mass resignation of engineers, data scientists, designers, product managers marks a setback for Elon Musk as well as for the Trump administration's efforts to basically purge the federal workforce. And this also comes amid a series of court challenges that are aimed at either stalling or stopping attempts to fire and force thousands of government workers out of their jobs. And now protests against Elon Musk are also impacting Tesla's sales. The allure of owning a Tesla seems to be diminishing. For years, the brand has been closely associated with Musk and his commitment to addressing the climate crisis. However, recently, Musk has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in support of Donald Trump, who has promised to increase domestic oil and gas production. As a result, former proud Tesla owners are reportedly expressing their dissatisfaction, saying they no longer enjoy driving their Teslas. On Tuesday, data from the European Automobile Manufacturers Association revealed that Tesla sales in Europe nearly halved last month. The Texas-based car maker sold 9,945 vehicles in January, a decrease of 45% from last year's total of 18,161, a major difference. And analysts are now reportedly trying to just understand how much customer discontent stemming from Musk's involvement in politics is actually affecting the brand. On the same day that these figures were released, reports suggested that a Canadian petition to revoke Musk's citizenship had gathered over 250,000 signatures. Canadian citizens have signed a parliamentary petition urging their government to revoke Musk's citizenship. The petitioners claim that Musk's association with President Trump, who plans to impose a 25% tariff on all Canadian imports next month and has proposed annexing Canada as the 51st state, in a way, goes against the national interest of Canada. The tech billionaire is a citizen of South Africa, Canada, and the United States, and he has become one of Trump's most visible allies since the president began his second term last month. And it's not just federal officials, by the way. Former Tesla owners and Canadians who are angry with Musk, even Trump loyalists, are reportedly pushing back against Musk's initiatives. An instruction by Elon Musk for federal workers to summarize their weekly activities or risk termination last weekend also prompted resistance among senior officials. And last Saturday, Musk announced on X that all government employees must outline what work they had done over the week, warning that failure to comply might be interpreted as resignation. However, some department officials responded by instructing employees to ignore the emails with directives coming directly from Trump appointees. Interestingly enough, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, ordered her staff not to respond, citing the inherently sensitive and classified nature of our work, quote unquote. The Pentagon also reportedly took a similar stance. Meanwhile, employees at the Department of Health and Human Services received conflicting guidance regarding Musk's request. And amid the backlash surrounding the weekly report requirement, Musk downplayed the controversy, calling the email a very basic pulse check, and shared a meme that compared his job security threats to vaccination mandates during the COVID-19 pandemic. And now, as it turns out, Musk is not even the head of the department. On Monday, a federal judge had a simple question for the Trump administration's lawyers. Is tech billionaire Elon Musk the Department of Government Efficiency's administrator? The Justice Department lawyer told the judge, and I'm quoting, "I don't have any information beyond he's a close advisor to the president," quote unquote. Later, after weeks of questions over who actually runs the department, the White House named Amy Gleason as the acting administrator. They did not provide additional details about her or when she was appointed. So all in all, is this the beginning of the end of Elon Musk? Hindus across the world are celebrating Mahashivratri. The sacred festival falls on the 14th night of the lunar month, when devotees fast, meditate and offer prayers, seeking Lord Shiva's blessings. In fact, Mahashivratri is deeply rooted in ancient legends. It's believed to mark the divine wedding of Lord Shiva and goddess Parvati, a celestial union that represents cosmic balance. This year's Mahashivratri holds even greater significance as it coincides with the conclusion of the Mahakumbh, the world's largest religious gathering. The festival started on the 13th of January, drawing crowds more than double the population of the US. According to the Uttar Pradesh government, 660 million pilgrims took the holy dip in the sacred city of Prayagraj at the confluence of the Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati rivers. Devotees take ritual dips in the belief that the holy waters will end their cycle of rebirth. Today's final Amrit Snan marks the end of 6 weeks of devotion and spiritual awakening there. The holy city of Ayodhya, meanwhile, witnessed a massive influx of devotees on Mahashivratri as thousands gathered to offer prayers, chanting Har Har Mahadev. Similar scenes were witnessed in the ancient city of Varanasi. The Kashi Vishwanath temple opened all 4 of its gates in order to facilitate easier inflow for the devotees. Various akhadas, along with a large number of saints and Naga sadhus, take out a grand procession before offering prayers. Mahashivratri is being celebrated in neighboring Nepal as well, with a lot of devotion, prayer and rituals. The echoes of devotion transcending borders, uniting millions in the timeless worship of Lord Shiva. Let's now shift our focus to what's happening in Germany. The Alternative for Germany party, AfD, is celebrating its best ever result in the federal elections. It has doubled its vote share since 2021, in fact, with more than 10 million people picking them in this year's election. Interestingly, the AfD got most of its vote from Germany's eastern states. Almost all of the old East Germany has turned AfD blue, as you can see. The party has always been more popular in German areas once under Soviet rule. but this year has tightened its grip in the stronghold state of Thuringia. The AFD got more than 38% of the vote. Why and how, you wonder? That's the real story today. You see, 3.5 decades after German reunification, a line runs through Germany where the Iron Curtain once stood. A line that basically divides Germans by measures like income and unemployment. Here, Germans are feeling fed up and, in a way, ignored by mainstream parties. And as a result, have flocked to the far right. Some of that support is fueled by resentment that 35 years after Germany reunified, wages in the eastern parts of the country are still lower than the West. And people are increasingly disconnected from centrist politicians they feel don't understand them. Reports cite East Germans, citing migration, the economy, the war in Ukraine, as reasons for why they were supporting AFD. The divide between East and West, according to analysts, reflects not only a failure to fully integrate the East, but also its unique problems and culture shaped by decades of communist rule during the Cold War. Just have a look at this on your screen. It shows the unemployment rate in Germany. As you can see, it's higher in the East as far as disposable income per capita is concerned. And that's clearly lower in the East. And what this basically tells us is that Germans still to some degree inhabit two separate worlds in a way, East and West. According to German political pundits, many East Germans have never really connected emotionally or mentally with West German democracy. Very interesting. And on top of that, many of the metrics where Eastern Germany still lags behind the Western part are the very factors that make voters more likely to vote for the far right. And analysts say that the old Western parties were never that well established in East Germany. But the AFD is increasingly visible in these parts, and many members are active in civil society, including several mayors, which means even people who do not vote for the party come in regular contact with it. Moreover, while the two parts of the country have become more integrated, high-level politics has not. Of the 17 government ministers in the departing cabinet of Chancellor Olaf Scholz, only 2 were born in East Germany, and that, in a way, explains the difference and why East Germans voted for the AFD.